Hi guys, what is going on, and welcome back to another video on Conqueror's Blade. So I've only just got the Shield Maiden video out, and while I was smugly sitting there thinking, nice job keeping up with current news, they go and release the Berserkers information. I'm always a little bit one step behind on this sort of stuff. So this will probably come out tomorrow. I've released the Shield Maiden stuff actually today, so yeah, hopefully this should come out tomorrow. I'm kind of curious to see, are you actually interested in these kind of as videos? I wasn't necessarily going to get into it quite like this, because in a sense I feel like I'm just sort of reading out the news articles rather than doing anything particularly interesting. I guess I'm trying to inject a little bit of information and knowledge into it, but if they're not very interesting, do let me know in the comments down below. Because I say, obviously, there's still going to be, we know we've got 3 units coming, so there's going to be another one after this. And knowing my luck, probably as this video goes live tomorrow, they'll probably release the information on the 3rd unit. So, yeah, as I say, do let me know what you think about these types of videos. And then hopefully as well, once we actually get into testing the units, we'll have proper videos on the units and how they perform, on the actual servers. So that'd be good to know as well. Hopefully we'll be able to have a PTR test like we have on the previous seasons as well. So, the Berserkers. Kind of an interesting unit. Expected we were going to be getting something like this. Didn't expect it to be implemented quite in the way that it has. So the most shocking thing is the fact it's a very small unit. There's only going to be 8 models in a unit. And that's not very many. And it's kind of more akin to Iron Reapers. Seems to be the closest comparison. We're expecting high charge damage and high melee damage. But, with only 8 models, they're going to be potentially fairly easy to counter. However, we then do see them attacking a unit of stalwarts in some of the footage, and yeah, it's interesting to see that they do seem to, at least initially, start to cut through the stalwarts in the Chiltern formation. I would be curious to see that clip stretched longer. I wish they'd left that up for like a 30-second clip. I'd be interested to know how the Berserkers perform, against the unit as a whole. Because even though they start to cut through initially, we don't know how much damage they're taking as a unit and whether they're going to have the strength to actually keep pushing through and actually completely wipe out the stalwarts. If they do, then that is going to give them a place on the battlefield. But given that we can reasonably expect, and it actually says here, lightly armoured, heavily armed, then we know their defensive stats are going to be pretty poor. And, that's not to be unexpected. But given there's only 8 of them in a unit, that means they're going to be very, very vulnerable to range. They're going to be vulnerable to enemy archer heroes, so bow heroes, short bows, muskets. And they're going to be quite easy to wipe out. So I think to make up for that, they're going to have to be very high damage. Otherwise, what's really the point in the unit? Obviously, they're going to have a sort of rage mode, and they're going to try and tear through units as quickly as possible. And actually, we see just clips a little bit from the footage. It kind of looks a little bit like their strike is AoE. It looks like they're going to be hitting multiple units at once. But they're really going to have to give them a very high damage output to make up for the fact there's only 8 of them, and to make up for the fact that they're going to be quite easy to kill, I suspect. So, going to be interesting to see how that balances, because I think they're going to be one of those things that in some situations they're going to feel unstoppable as they absolutely just cut through your unit in front of you. In other situations, they're just going to get shot to death by Namcans and be really useless. So, yeah, interesting to see how they'll implement this. I probably wouldn't have gone for only 8 models if it was me. I would have knocked the damage down a bit, but given it a 16 model unit, something like that. But I guess we'll kind of have to wait to see how they are actually implemented. But certainly an interesting unit. Certainly I did notice Ragnar here from the Viking series. It's kind of cool on their mood board. And I like the look of them. They look very cool. So, yeah, interesting unit. Going to be a little bit of some strange gameplay. Interesting to see how some of their charge and some of their rage abilities work, and kind of see how they actually deploy when they get into battle. Really, hopefully we'll get to test these on the PTR before the season goes live, because I'd really love to get a little bit of a handle on what these guys are like. But anyway, that's all we've got time for today. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, do let me know what you think in the comments down below. Of course, subscribe to the channel for a lot more Conqueror's Blade content, and I shall see you guys all on the next video.